Welcome to the Holistic Career Change Podcast, one-stop shop for everyone feeling stuck in their career and who are looking to identify, change, and succeed at their new fulfilling work. I'm your host, Vilma. Let's go. Hi, all. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Doing well, by the way, is a decision. Let me explain it to you before you start throwing tomatoes at me and get triggered. It may sound a little bit triggering saying that, you know what, doing well is a decision. You might think that is actually a little bit insensitive to say that doing well is a decision when you just may have so many things coming at you right now. And I get it. It actually is triggering to me on some days as well. And yet, everything is a decision. You can have any life circumstance and then make a conscious, intentional decision of what you will think about that circumstance. And when you decide what you will think about it, which perspective, which angle you will choose to look from, you will then create a feeling state within you. And that feeling state will either inspire you to take action, or it will lead you to wallowing in inaction, distraction, avoidance. That's it. That's the secret to the universe, you all. Like, I've been speaking about this in this podcast so many times. For instance, you may be thinking about starting a career change journey, or you may be someone who is in the middle of a career change journey. And you may have thoughts like, this is really scary. Should I really do it? Maybe I should just stick to what I know. Some days are not that bad. I do get paid, decent amount of money. I have my benefits. Is it financially risky to think of a career change? Is it selfish to think about it? How will I ever know that I'm making the right decision, etc., etc., etc.? None of these thoughts, by the way, are good feeling thoughts. None of them. Not one of these thoughts will make you feel inspired, excited, curious to explore and to try things. The chances are thinking these thoughts, cultivating them, spinning in these thoughts will make you feel low in energy. They will make you feel demotivated, anxious, confused, and overwhelmed. And as you and I have already spoken about before, overwhelm, confusion, anxiety, low quality thoughts in general cannot breed action. They just don't. That's a fact of life. What they usually do cause is a lot of spinning and indecision and reaching for distraction and, whatever coping strategies that you have, often food and pleasure related, right? So basically, even if you do end up taking action when you feel these emotions, that action is not going to be productive. And by the productive, I mean that type of action that is going to bring you closer to the result that you want to create for yourself. Now, let's take some other career changers, or let's take an example of those career changers that I personally work with. What we first and foremost really take the time to establish is all of the tools and practices that they need to cultivate to create massive shift in their perspective. That is, they make a choice from the very beginning to think that career change is an amazing opportunity to course correct their life. This is what they usually think. For one reason or another, I did end up making a decision or many decisions that in some way resulted in me essentially betraying my truth, going down those paths and, choosing careers that are clearly not meant for me. They're not in alignment. I'm not excited about them. And right now, I have this unprecedented opportunity to make it right for me, for my family, for the future generations to come, and even for the generations that came before me, my ancestors who did not even have the opportunities that I have right now. It's a privilege to be exploring a new career path. It's thrilling to know that I am made meticulously designed for a career path that will allow me to create, expand, play, be myself, and still get paid for it. It's inspiring to see other women and men creating a life of the wildest dreams. I am ready to put in the work. I'm ready to work on my belief systems. I'm ready to take all the necessary steps to change my life around. I deeply believe, I hold that belief that I will build this new path for me. And I don't even care how long it will take me. I don't care how many attempts it will take me. All I care about, all I think about is that it's happening. It's a decision I made. Let's effing go. I want to pause here. I want you now to tune in, check in with yourself, and let me know, or let yourself know, how do you feel right now? How do you feel as you just heard me sharing some of these thoughts that many career changers are choosing to cultivate? The thoughts of someone being open, ready, curious, excited, grateful. Did you get inspired a little bit? Did you get excited? Did you had a bit of a surge of energy? What happened? I want you to notice. I want you to build that solid connection with yourself and especially with the body, with the somatic responses. Did you perhaps catch yourself surprised, realizing that you didn't even know these thoughts could be available for someone who is willingly choosing to step into the unknown, into the abyss, right? Did suddenly career change seem just a little bit lighter? Just a little more accessible than before? What if you chose to think those thoughts on purpose, on a daily basis? How do you think this journey would be different for you? I want you to really think about it. There's no magic here. This is not a magic trick. It's simply you choosing to adopt an expansive mindset. That is the foundational piece in any process of change. And these thoughts are available to you today. You could literally decide and say from now on, from this very moment, I'm going to start telling a different story about my fulfilled life that is waiting ahead of me, that I'm calling in. And every time I catch myself drifting back into the default way of thinking, like, oh, it's just so hard. Oh, I'll never figure it out. I will pause, like literally pause, stop in my tracks, time myself out, and rewrite that program. All it is a program, people. These thoughts that you think are your truths are old thought errors, old sentences in your head that are not serving you, and you are spending all of this time and energy believing in them. So you can stop and say no. Take two. Whenever you hear yourself going back to that old story, you say like, hold on. No. Let me try this again. I actually can't wait to see what this new path could look like for me. I see how I was being led up until this point. I see and I know I have full trust in whatever it is to unfold. And it's going to be better and more breathtaking than I could have ever even imagined. I'm excited. Literally, I'm excited. I can't wait to wake up every single morning full of energy, knowing that I'm getting up to work and play and create and spend time with like-minded people and leave a mark on the world. I can't wait to experience it. I can't wait to create this for myself. You stop yourself and then you tell yourself the new story. And then the next time you notice yourself drift back into the old familiar thinking, you do the same. You pause and you remind yourself of the new story, of the new reality that you're calling in. And you do it over and over and over again until this new reality becomes your reality, until that is the place where your mind goes unsupervised, until that becomes your new emotional home. Right? One of my mentors always says, like a mind, if you leave it unsupervised, it's kind of like a 5-year-old child that will going to go around causing havoc. We need to learn how to manage it. We need to show our brain where to go. Otherwise, it's just going to do all of things and keep us distracted and keep us in low energy. So you cultivate that belief and just take the next step. Cultivate the belief, take the next step, and the next step. Believe and take the next step. Until you look around and you realize you do not recognize your life anymore. And sometimes, as we're in the middle of this journey of literally rewriting our story, it may actually require you to, for some time, live in this really jarring cognitive dissonance. That is, it will require you to hold multiple beliefs about yourself and what you're capable of at the same time. A lot of the times, these beliefs are literally the opposite. And that happens a lot in a career change setting. For example, you may believe that I've never done this before, I'm scared. And at the same time, you may hold a belief, I know I can do this. I know I can achieve this. This is happening for me. Right? You are literally living in that in-between liminal stage of leaving the old belief system, but not having had the ability or enough time to fully adopt the new system. And that sort of dissonance for some time could create a lot of tension within you. And this is where a lot of people trip. They drop the new belief systems, give in to the fear, and run away from uncertainty and run towards back to the default of what they knew, what was familiar. Then this is where I want to tell you. If it's challenging to begin with, to hold those two beliefs, you're doing it right. Don't be afraid. Walk towards it. Go through it. Stop looking at the past for evidence of your failures or mishaps. That's another big theme that I'm starting to see. People like, yeah, but I haven't done this before. Yeah, so what? Look at all of the people who created amazing, new, innovative things in their life. They were not sitting around thinking how I have not done this before. They ventured into each day, into each project with, what if? They started things with curiosity, with open mindset. What if you did the same? Because your past does not define your future. There's nothing there for you. And I do understand, I really do. I really sincerely, on a personal level, understand this inherent need we sometimes have to make sense of the past. Especially when there's trauma involved. And let's be honest, who doesn't have trauma? Haven't met a single person on this planet yet who didn't experience some sort of trauma, right? But really, honestly, sincerely, if we want to create a life that has not been lived by anyone before in our family, in our neighborhood, in our environment, we won't find much insights and tips in the past. It's all present and future visioning. That's all there is to it. So the best we can do is really spend some time accepting the past, integrating it, learning from the past, and then focusing on now and tomorrow. When we accept and assimilate the past, it loses its grip on us. And we naturally stop feeling that urge to go back and dissect it. It's just not appealing for us anymore. There's no energy behind it anymore. Accepting the past simply makes space for the new. By accepting the past, we're making space for the new life we're creating it. If we are so stuck with analyzing what happened, why it happened, what does it mean, there is no space for the new life you want to live. Where do you want this new life to go? It's camping outside of your house in a little tent right now. It doesn't have any space in your house. Not sure where that example came from, but hey-ho. Right? It's kind of like, I want you to imagine, it's kind of like the process of archiving. How, like before the whole digital era, people used to archive actual physical documents, like way back in the day. So anything that was not in circulation anymore, anything that was not required for business as usual activities, all of these documents used to be documented, archived, and kept in sort of separate boxes, oftentimes even in different premises. That was an archive. For a reason, right? For a reason. And we do the same with the past. We respectively review, we love the shit out of it, we honor it, we extract the lessons, forgive ourselves if we need to, we forgive our families or those who hurt us, and we archive it. And again, I will also never say that this process is simple or it's easy. It's a very complex process, right? It often requires many reiterations and often qualified support, safe spaces, someone guiding us through us. A lot of letting go. That's not easy. It's not simple. And yet it's life-changing. We do that or more like we probably will continuously be engaging in this process of archiving our past, of assimilating our past and leaving it in the past where it's supposed to be, right? Because we're constantly creating the past. So of course it's going to be something that we'll continuously do. And yet, what a beautiful practice to have, to remember to do that. To remember to check in and ask ourselves, which beliefs are essentially outdated? Which memories am I still carrying that are not allowing me to enjoy the present moment? And I get it if this is triggering for you to hear, especially when it comes to some of the beliefs that I've shared about career change, and that this journey could actually be expansive and gorgeous and fun if you choose to experience it like that. But if you're being triggered, if something is not resonating, a lot of the times that's just an invitation for you to check in and review. Where have you not taken up the practice? Where have you not allowed yourself to practice these new beliefs long enough until they become available for you? Right? Clearly practicing these beliefs, choosing these thoughts, it just didn't make the cut into your daily practice of telling a new story, right? Your brain does not go there automatically yet. But it doesn't mean that these thoughts are not available to you. It just means that you haven't practiced them enough for them to become your story. Okay, and I will say this again, trying not to sound too ranty here. It's all coming from love, by the way, and wanting to really help you all live a life I know you were meant to live, and I know that you deserve to live and create. Oh my God, this episode is becoming into a couple of couple of insights that I've had as of late, as I'm observing certain people go through career change journeys, and I see how there are so many similar patterns in the way people will embrace this journey, right? So this is, again, me just bringing the latest observations that I have with the hope that perhaps that will ring true to you and perhaps will open up some sort of perspective shift in your current reality. Another sort of pattern that I've been noticing quite a lot is that a lot of you give up too easily. And again, this is me saying that with a big caveat that I do understand that a lot of behavioral patterns are trauma responses, but also it's my job to bring you that awareness, right? A lot of people will say, try a routine 3 times, skip it once or twice, and then you come back saying, oh, I tried it. It didn't really work. It's probably not for me. The whole morning routine thing, maybe I'm just not meant for it. And I hear that and I go like, what? How can you even know something is working having tried it for 3 days? That is nothing. That is not having tried it. 3 days is nothing. It's not enough for you to even understand what it is even about, right? 3 times is nothing. Try it for 3 weeks, try it for 3 months, and then come back with serious data points and evaluations. Then you can decide whether something is working or not working for you. I feel like we live in such a fast-paced environment, and that quick win has become so appealing and so sexy for us that we really forget that a lot of the achievements and success and change is built upon consistent showing up. And that I'm not talking 3 days, I'm talking 3 years or 30 years, right? And I know that when I say this, I'm risking to sound like I am not selling that dream of like, oh, just take those 3 steps again, or do this. But my job is not to sell you a lie. My job is to tell you the truth. Or people will sometimes say, Vilma, I did try to tell a new story. And then like my mom called and I shared with her this new business idea that I'm excited about. And, she sounded like really concerned for me and a little doubtful. And she started asking all of these questions and she didn't seem too supportive. And, like we finished the conversation and I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, Who am I kidding? This will probably never work. My mom is right. I just stick to what I know. That is not trying. You doing this is not trying. That is you giving up on your dreams. You have spent X amounts of years on this planet, however long you've been around. And do you sincerely think it will take you 2 days of journaling, 4 days of reading your, mantras that you found to change them? That is not realistic. It may take months, again, it may take years for us to earn those new beliefs through repetition, through showing up for the work. When we don't feel like it, especially when we don't feel like it. I remember one of my yoga teachers used to tell me this. The day where you feel like you do not want to be on the mat the most, where you are just like, I cannot, I will not, I don't feel like it, that day is the day when you need to bring yourself on the mat the most. Because these are the days when you feel that biggest resistance, when usually we create the biggest breakthroughs. When we finally succeed at that asana, when we have an insight, when we learn something, when we make the dent, right? Same with inner work, which is always, I cannot stress this enough, always the predecessor of outside results. Inner work first, outside results then. And I often tell my clients to access this almost like inner warrior goddess energy. And if you happen to be male, we're not discriminating, we love our sacred masculine in the space too, then I'd say to you, access your warrior energy and channel it and fight for you, for your dreams. Show up on that mat, especially when you don't feel like it. And if all it takes is one remark from your friend or from a family member to bring you down, then truly we need to work a little more on your self-belief, on your emotional and mental stamina. Because while your dreams will bring this unprecedented happiness to you, they will also challenge you like nothing and no one has ever challenged you before. And they will require you to show up, to be consistent, and to grow some cojones, right? Even for us females, like it will require that like unconditional self-trust. So this episode is a little bit ranty, I get it, but still a reminder from me to you to stop playing small because someone told you can or can't do something. They are not the judge of that. You are. You and your belief are. You and your new story are. I remember when I actually started sharing with my friends that I want to transition from finance into coaching years back. One of my closest friends, and I mean the closest, dearest friends of mine who I had known for nearly 20 years, looked at me and rather flippantly said, Vilma, aren't you supposed to be super healed and super sorted out and literally on top of your game in every area of your life to be able to do this? You have such a history of seeking and failing and trying, and you still are trying to figure out your intimate relationships. How can you help others? And I remember this moment so well, as if it was yesterday. And I responded to her then, I think in the moment with, you know who I am? I'm a human being on a journey with a deep, blazing, bright desire to support others on their human journey. That's who I am. That's what qualifies me. And then I thought to myself, watch me do it. Watch me do it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I did cry for several days after that remark. That hurt me so deep that someone who was so close doubted me, didn't see me in the new light, had not believed, had not seen the new identity that I was creating at that point in time. I was thinking, am I crazy? Is she right? What am I doing? I do remember it so vividly. But that is only because back then at the beginning, I didn't have the tools yet to know that it's up to me to cultivate my belief in me. It's up to me to start telling a different story about life. It's my job, not anyone else's. It's my job to believe in me and believe in the bright future for my life as if my life depends on it. Because it does. And still to this day, I do belief work. With my full practice, with my business, with the goals that I achieved, I still continue believing, dreaming, expanding that, pushing that boundary, pushing the envelope of what I think I'm able to achieve and create, and then doing the work for it. And now it's your turn. Are you ready to believe in it all, even when you don't know exactly all the facts yet? Even when your environment is questioning your reasoning? Even when you literally don't know much except for that one next step that you can take? Are you ready to believe in you? Because your belief is the only thing that is standing between you and the life of purpose, fulfillment, joy, expansion, abundance, whatever else that you want for yourself. That's it. Don't be afraid to fail forward. Fall, get up again, reevaluate, learn, go at it again. Life is for your taking. You know why? Because you not giving up today, you not giving up tomorrow, you not giving up next week, one day that will change the course of someone else's life. Because you decided to show up in full authenticity and shine your light. Because you decided to use your talents and gifts, no matter how big or small, may save someone else's life. Figuratively or perhaps even literally speaking. Get to know yourself. Learn how to manage the F out of your brain and start telling a new story today. I can't wait to see you in your full power. Have a beautiful week. Thank you for spending time with me today. If you'd like to take this work further, make sure you head over to the show notes and click on the scheduling link to book your consultation call. Can't wait to meet you.